Hello guys, today I'll be reviewing the new Limp Bizkit album, Still Sucks. Now, this album, kind of a pleasant surprise. Of course, that'll depend on the person, but for me, kind of a pleasant surprise. So yes, it is true, I am a Limp Bizkit fan. Been a fan ever since middle school. I want to say 7th grade, maybe 8th grade. Of course, it's one of the two, but my introduction to the band was with the song My Way, and yeah, I've been a fan ever since. Significant Other probably being my favorite in their discography. I still think their first 3 albums are the best, but I do like what they did after those albums too. But of course, the first song we heard from this album was Dad Vibes. We first heard it from the Lollapalooza performance, and then we got the actual song, and now we have this new album, and yeah, let's go ahead and dive into it. So the album starts off with Out of Style, and yeah, the main riff goes hard, and to me kind of sounds like a riff you'd hear from the Gold Cobra album. And the song all around has a nice bounce to it, and I also like what DJ Lethal is doing throughout the song. But also you do hear Fred's rapping and singing in this song, and vocally I think he still sounds solid today. Still pretty much sounds the same, but again, still sounds solid. And overall, to me, a great opener to the album. I wouldn't be surprised if this song ends up being one of the favorites off the album for some people. But next we move on to Dirty Rotten Biscuit. And this song is definitely a banger. The intro riff, definitely, or the riff that leads into the first verse, reminds me of Hot Dog, and the heavy riffs especially really pull you into this song. And yeah, again, this song all around is definitely a banger, and this is another song on the album that I can see being a favorite for some people who are into this album. But then we get to the next song, Dad Vibes, and this is a short, simple, catchy Limp Bizkit song that definitely, as you're listening to it, even the lyrics too, you can tell, you can really hear the self-awareness. And yeah, a fairly straightforward song. I did review it on my channel, so if you want to hear me go deeper into this song, definitely check out that review after this review. But yeah, Dad Vibes, kind of a cool little Limp Bizkit song, I'd say. And also not a bad choice for a single either. I mean, again, it's fairly straightforward and an all-around fairly catchy song. But next we move on to the next song, Turn It Up Bitch, and this is a shorter, more hip-hop focused song. Kind of different, but I like it. I'm not sure how fans will feel about this one, but I am definitely curious of what people are going to say about this one especially. But still, overall, I kind of like it, not going to lie. But next we move on to Don't Change, and this is a more melodic song where you hear Fred singing, and I've always liked Fred Durst singing. Rearrange is a song that to me proves that he can sing, and I do like his singing here. His singing, of course, not as good as in Rearranged, but I mean, that was a while ago, and there are moments where I think vocally he sounds fairly good in this song. Maybe a few lines where his singing didn't quite cut it for me, but overall, his vocal performance in this song, overall not too bad for his age, and overall, not a bad song. A bit of a change in pace, but overall, not bad. But next we move on to You Bring Out the Worst in Me. And this song has a nice bass line to it, and you also hear Fred singing again in the verses. Then you have some screaming in the chorus. Lyrically sounds like could be about a struggling relationship and how a struggling relationship can bring out the worst in people. And overall, kind of an interesting contrast between the more melodic verses and the heavy chorus. Again, kind of interesting combination there, but overall, kind of an interesting song. I kind of like it. Not sure if it's one of my personal favorites, but I do like it though. Didn't see the screams coming, and I kind of like with his singing, I've always really liked his screams. Now, his screams don't always hit a home run for me, but most of the time I do dig his screams overall. Kind of a unique scream, I'd say. But next we move on to Love the Hate, and This will be a song that will definitely have fans talking. A bit of a shorter song, acknowledging the haters, of course, and I'm definitely curious of what fans will think about this song, especially the pubes line towards the beginning of the song. I remember when I first heard it, I was like, well, what did he say? I had to rewind it just to make sure that I heard, if I thought what I heard was what I heard, and it was. And yeah, wow. This song I definitely didn't see coming, especially with some of the lines in the song. So, especially the pubes line, I was like, again, what? But yeah. Interesting song, I'd say. Not overall, still not sure how to feel about it in general, about whether I like it or not. But again, interesting song. Definitely didn't see it coming. But next we have Barnacle, a shorter song that has some nice driving riffs to it. Wes's riffs probably standing out the most to me in this song. But I'll be honest, not one of my personal favorites on the album. But I do like it though. Overall, a decent track. But next, we move on to Empty Hole, and you get some acoustic guitar and Fred again singing. And there is some moments vocally where Fred kind of reminds me of his singing from Results May Vary, especially when he says the song title. So yeah, moments in the song kind of remind me of the Results May Vary album, which might not please everybody because I know not all fans are a fan of that album, especially. It's often considered one of their worst albums. I like the album, but I've never loved it, to be honest. But overall, I think it's a decent album. Definitely has its flaws, definitely has its issues, however you want to put it. But I like the album overall, though. But again, I do agree that it is one of their weaker albums. But I wouldn't say that it's all around bad or anything. Definitely has its moments, though. Some of my favorites on the album being like Underneath the Gun and Eat You Alive, Give Me the Mic, Head for the Hurricane, Phenomenon, just to name a handful of songs or a few songs. But anyways, back to this album. Empty Hole again, decent song. Doesn't really do a whole lot to stand out in my opinion, but overall, a decent song, I'd say. But next we move on to Pill Popper, and the drum patterns from John Otto and the verses right off the bat really made me think of Ministry. Now, for those who might not be familiar with Ministry, they're an industrial metal band, one of the pioneers of the genre. Limp Bizkit covered one of their songs, that being Thieves. One of Ministry's best songs, I'd say. And if you're not familiar with Ministry, please check them out. Definitely a great band. And if you're into industrial metal, definitely check them out. And if you somehow haven't heard of them, yet you're an industrial metal fan, definitely change that. Because, yeah, Ministry, definitely, again, an all-around great band. But, yeah, also, I like the screams in the chorus, along with the heavy riffs. But, yeah, the song lyrically, kind of their take on what's going on in the world, and this is another song that I'm curious of what fans will say, especially with the lyrics or the lyrical subject. But yeah, Pill Popper, again, kind of an interesting song. Probably not one of my favorites on the album, but I do like it though. But again, my mind on that could change at any time. But next we have Snacky Poo. So yeah, starts off with someone chewing on chips and bag wrangling, however you want to put it. And then we get to, of course, into the song. And yeah, this song all around, kind of a goofy song. Lyrically, to no surprise, definitely Limp Bizkit. I mean, if you're looking for something lyrically deep or impactful, you're not going to find it here. I mean, especially with this song. But yeah, again, fairly goofy song. You do get an interview, or an auto interview in this case, towards the second half or towards the end of the song, and I'm not gonna lie, that interview kind of made me smirk a little bit, and you guys will understand that when you hear that interview part of the song for the first time. But yeah, I'll be honest, not really sure how to feel about this song. I don't see it being a favorite for many people off the album, but I can still see maybe some people kind of smirking at it or laughing at it a little bit, or maybe having fun with it. But yeah, definitely a different song. Definitely, of course, more on the humorous side. And there's always been some humor in their music, but in this song it definitely shows. And yeah, definitely a unique song on the album, definitely different. But yeah, again, not really sure how to feel about it. But next we move on to the album closer, Goodbye. And yeah, this is the boy band sounding song, and yeah, I'm not sure how to feel about this song. A part of me kind of likes it, and a part of me is kind of like, what? I'm just like, I'm honestly conflicted about this song. I mean, I won't say that I hate it or anything, or things like god awful or anything like that. It's just, again, kind of conflicted about this album closer. And I don't know if I would have chose this song as the album closer either. So yeah, probably not the strongest album closer. I probably would have chosen a different song, but I don't know. The song all around, yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm conflicted about this one, but anyways, if I had to rate this album, I'd probably give it either a 7 or an 8 out of 10. Not really sure. I'm still thinking about some of my overall thoughts on a couple of songs on the album, but as of now, gonna have to go with a 7 or 8 out of 10. And I think many fans will be pleased with the album. Might be disappointed with maybe 1 or 2 songs. Maybe, of course, it'll depend on the fan. But throughout the album, I do hear Gold Cobra sometimes. I even hear Chocolate Starfish a little bit here and there. It was definitely cool to hear some screams from Fred in this album. There's not a lot of it. If I remember correctly, there's only maybe 2 or 3 songs that have some screams from Fred. But yeah, the album, overall, I like it. I wouldn't say that I love it, but I do like it though. Again, a pleasant surprise of an album, and definitely cool that we finally got a new Limp Bizkit album after all these years. I mean, 10 years, definitely a long time. Not like Tool long, of course, 13 years, but I mean, 10 years is definitely a long time, and I'm definitely happy that we finally got a new Limp Bizkit album. So again, gonna have to go with a 7 or 8 out of 10. But anyways, let me know your thoughts on the album. Do you love it? Do you hate it? How's it compared to their previous work for you personally? For me, I'm still not sure how it compares with the previous albums, but of course I'll probably come to a conclusion for that later on this year. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. See if you comment, like, subscribe. Have a nice day, and take care.